look like a wild woman today. It's okay. I'm going to eat my soup. Hello, people-ish. 1, 2 people. Hello. What is that? Come on, people now. Shine on your brother. Everybody get together. Try to love one another right now. I need to look like I need a hairbrush right now. Hello, Kay Kawana Lake. Hey, baby, how are you doing? I just had me some chicken noodle soup, and when I drank it, it hurt. Like, you know how when you drink something really hot, how it burns the first time? But mine did it every time. I don't like that. It worries me. Why, I don't know, but it does. Hello, Veronica. Sorry, I'm belching again. Soup. That's so unladylike. I'm so sorry. So, I know that I did not do a video today. Hello, Sherry. Hey, Sherry. How are you? I didn't do a video today, but it wasn't because I didn't want to. It's just because, well, I look a little rough. Yesterday, you've got heartburn. Kawana, I've had heartburn so bad today. Oh, oh. I've eaten like a jar of Tums. Anyway, yes, you know, those headaches were so horrendous. Honest to goodness, I didn't think I was going to make it through those headaches. And then I woke up this morning and it was there a little bit. So I took one of the Phenagrin. They gave me Phenagrin for headaches. So I took one of those this morning and it did not, I'm doing good today, Sherry. It didn't go away as quickly as it did when they gave me the shot. So it took a little bit of time and all that. So my day started with Tess was her and her fiance were coming up here to help me move some heavier things from my old house over to here. But I didn't know they were coming at the crack of dawn. I woke up like 6, 7 o'clock and I was just laying there thinking, I need to probably take a Phenagrin. My head's starting to hurt. But I'm moving a little slower than I would normally move. And so Tess came in and she looks beautiful and Chuck looks beautiful and they look like they just come off of a magazine. They're like, hey, let's go do this, let's do that. I'm like, all right, I gotta check my sugar. All right, I gotta do insulin. I gotta eat. And they're like, well, we're gonna go on. I'm like, okay. And I felt really bad. So it takes me a little bit longer to get going. And then the time I was ready to go, they were halfway done and ready to leave. So I went over there and I worked a little bit at my house, getting some clothes together and stuff. And I've just piddled all day putting up the stuff that they've brought. But I think where I had just tried everything to get rid of the headache and finally the headache was gone, I would be sitting and all of a sudden I'd fall over asleep. So all day long, I think, oh, I need to do a video and tell everybody hi and say, hello, Teresa. How are you doing? Hi, Brad. Hey, Brad. Brad, can you believe I've got cancer? What the heck? Me. Anyway, so that was my soup bowl right there. So anyway, I was exhausted. I was absolutely exhausted today. So I'd work for a few minutes and I'd start hanging up clothes and I'd be sitting down hanging up my dresses and I'd fall and I'd wake up and I'd have a hanger and clothes in my face like this. And this went on all day long. And so I think so. I realize that it's going to get a little tougher. I think this though was from the headaches. Took so much out of me that I was just hello. I know I don't say Doniva. There we go. I got it. Terry Hughes, you're watching me. Me and Terry were just on the phone. And I told her, I said, oh gosh, I have not eaten. I got to go get some food. And so I came in and had me some chicken noodle soup because everything else just looked disgusting to me. Hey, Gail, thank you for praying for me. And here's you want to hear something stupid? I'm not eating a third of what I used to. Like today, I had half a sandwich, and I just now remembered I need to eat some soup. That might be why my head was hurting. I can beat this, Rouse. which is Brad. I can beat this with Christ through me. We're going to beat this. Hey, Ronnie. Love you, sweetheart. Listen, that last message you sent me, I just now got it. You're right. I'm going to have to get the girls to pay my bills, and I'm going to explain that to everybody here in a minute. I did something really, really stupid because my head was hurting so bad yesterday. I wasn't paying attention, and I did a dumb thing. Something so stupid. Because I'm not, hey, Brenda, hey, friend. Brenda's been my best friend since I was 16 years. I've known her since I was like 5, but she's been my best friend since I was like 16 years old. But what was I talking about before that? I don't remember. What was I saying? Oh, I think I was just exhausted from all the medicine and stuff that I had taken. But I realized each week it could get a little worse. But with your all's prayers, it won't. I mean, I did fantastic this first week, and most people lay in the bed and cry and can't get out. Oh, losing weight. I'm not losing weight. I'm not eating hardly anything. And I went into the doctor yesterday, and I have put on 10 pounds. I said, how in the heck could I put 10 pounds on when I'm not even going some days and forgetting to eat altogether? Hey, Emily, thank you for praying for me. Please continue prayer. That's what I believe in. Hey, Kwana, Tess told me, she said, Mom, if this was your diet plan, it's the worst one you could come up with. So, but my friend Terry told me it's a lot of the medicines and stuff I'm on. So, anyway. Oh, something stupid I did. So, my head was hurting so bad the last few days, I could not. Hey, Dale Slimmons. How are you doing? Thank you for watching. I don't know if you heard the news. That's why it's called Have You Heard the News? I've got cancer. Yay, woohoo. That's a joke, not yay, woohoo. But it's inoperable cancer right now, but they're trying to shrink it so they can't operate. But God's good, and He's going to heal me. We believe that with everything in me. I look like living crap because I've been falling asleep, sitting up all day because I'm exhausted from headaches I had yesterday. So here's what I did that was stupid. Hey, Dana. Oh, do you see what she's got there? Dana started a fundraising program for me, and that's going to explain what I've done a minute ago. That's even more so. I buy a t-shirt. It's a t-shirt, and it's about my breast cancer, and it helps. All the proceeds help me financially right now, which that sounds awful for me to promote that, but when you hear what I just did, you'll understand. Hey, Jeff Webb. Hey, Liz Brown. My head was hurting me so bad I couldn't think clear at all. So I had just a little bit of money put back to pay the minimum payment on my bills, like $30 on this one, $35 on this one. I don't know what I did. I clicked, pay the entire thing, and one of the bills was $300, and I paid $300 because I was just in so much pain I wasn't looking. So when I went to my bank account and there was only just a little bit of money left in there, I was like, I wrote, oh no. I called Ronnie up and I said, Ronnie, oh no, you've got to help me. I messed up something terrible. I just wrote a check for $162. Remember, my garbage was $162 or $163. And I said, yeah, for some reason I have no money and I don't know why. Well, I went back and looked and I checked everything, and it wasn't them, it was me. I did it in my pain and delirium. So Ronnie sent me a message and said, you can't do your bills right now. You're just not. You're in too much pain. When the headaches hit, when everything's going on, when the girls are going to have to handle it. And I agree. Tess is handling all my appointments. And Mamie just went and bought. Well, remember I kept complaining about the board. Mamie, where is she? Anyway, she went and bought a dry erase board. She's got the days, where I'm supposed to be, what I'm supposed to do. Tess is on that. Cheney's still doing all the research. Chaz does, comes up and helps me do what he does. And now one of them's going to have to start. I'm going to have to give them, because I have all my bills listed in one of these things, when and what day and all that. I'm just going to have to give it all to them and let them deal with it, because I even forgot to pay. Remember, if you have been watching these, I had forgot to even pay my bills. I didn't even realize it was December, so I got a bunch of late charges to begin with. And then go do something stupid like that. What money I did have, paid it all on one bill. Crazy, but it was okay, because I have somebody who loves me very much, and they're like, don't worry about it. I'll save you this one time. No, they didn't say this one time. So it was taken care of, but I was having a panic attack for a minute that I had written a bad check, because that's scary to think that, you wrote a bad check, but it was taken care of. So I may hand it all over to you, Kwana, all my bills, and let you take care of them, because I don't know if these kids can take much more. You may be paying my bills. Let somebody divvy it out to me. It's not like I can go anywhere and spend any money. My poor kids are going to get what I bought them before I got cancer, so some of them are going to have really great presents. Some of them are going to have Dollar Tree stuff. Oh, Lord. Yeah, I can't handle anything extra right now. Quite said I need to hand it all over to him. I can't handle the bills and all that thinking and stuff. It's awful. You know, there's so many people. I did not know this, and I don't think a lot of people do, because unless cancer touches your life. Now, my father had lung cancer. My ex-husband had that basal cell where they had to take a big piece out of his face. A lot of different cancers, you know, have touched my life. My daughter, when she was 5 years old, had ALL, acute lymphatic leukemia. That almost did me in, my kid getting leukemia. And back then, that was a death sentence. It's not anymore. Childhood leukemia is not a death sentence anymore like it was then. And oh, thank you, Brad, for putting me on a prayer list. I appreciate that. I'll take all the prayers I can get. And that made me think of something Tess said about me calling preachers years ago when she was sick. But anyway, I've been touched by cancer around me my whole life. But as much as I have, you would think that I would have known that breast cancer isn't just breast cancer. It's not. There's so many variables. There's so many different kinds. There's so many different markers and things and all that. And I didn't get a lot of the good stuff with mine. Hey, Courtney. Oh, I also love you too, Brad Rouse. I've known you. Hey, Robin. But I didn't get all the great things like HER2 positive. I didn't get that. I got HER2 negative. I got aggressively growing cancer. I got some pretty bad stuff, but it doesn't matter what the world says. What matters is what God says and how he's going to fix it and how he's going to heal me. I believe he will ultimately heal me on this side of heaven, but if he chooses to heal me on the other side of heaven, ultimately, that's his choice as well. But I'm going for this side, you know, because I want to be here a little bit longer and watch my 18-year-old daughter get married and have babies, and I want to watch all my other grandbabies grow up and have a wonderful life, you know. I'll take, you know, I'm not asking for much, just to be 100 or so. You know, Mamie and we laugh about a lot of stuff today, and I was hanging up all kinds of clothes because we were moving. We brought a lot of my clothes over. My face is swollen, by the way, from all these headaches. My nose is even swollen. So please overlook the way I look. So, we got to do the hair test. Let's see if I've lost any hair. Nothing. It's still there. But anyway, we were holding all these clothes up. And where I have huge boobs, a lot of times, like when people get to wear the little cute sundresses and stuff, I always have to wear a big tank top over mine because they don't even cover the end of mine. So I was going to get them all, throw them all away. I thought, I'm tired of wearing these dresses that don't fit. And I held it up to Mamie and I said, this time next summer, I'll have either no boobs or little boobs, and I can wear all these cute sundresses and be like free like everybody else. Y'all may think that's weird, but I'm like, there's a silver lining in everything. I do hear God heals. I believe God heals, Brad, absolutely. And Dana says, I ain't going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Me and Terry were talking about that earlier. We were talking about different things, you know, and way people, when they pass, what they want done. And I said, well, I don't want to be stupid. I already have things planned out if that were to ever happen in my mind. I have it ready in my head to talk to, you know, my bestest friends about what I want done if that comes. But we're not there yet. We don't have to worry about that. And we're going to believe that that's not going to happen. So, but I want to tell you a story. I said earlier, something reminded me when he said prayer. When Tess was little, and I may cry through this. Tess was 5 years old. It was her first day of school. She was diagnosed with acute lymphatic leukemia. And she still is beautiful, but she's the prettiest little girl you ever saw. And I was just 25 years old. I was absolutely devastated. Back then, like I said, that was a death sentence. Absolutely devastated. And the only thing I could tell you is I knew this much. No matter what, God was the ultimate healer. No matter what, he could heal all things. And no matter what, he had the answers. And he could put an end to it. He could stop all this and he could take care of her. And I went down to the chapel and I fell face first and I prayed and I cried and he gave me a verse and a scripture then that was a promise that she would be healed. And she actually, without meaning to, sent me the same verse not too long ago and did not even realize she had done it. That's in one of the videos in the past if you want to go back and look at it. But one of the things that I did, and I'm not saying this to put roses on my shoulder, this is just how much I believe in prayer. That's back when you had, in the hospitals, they had the old phones that you'd sit and you'd punch the numbers. Because Tess is 35 now, and that she was 5. That's 30 years ago. I got the phone book out. And I just started going. I went to churches, and every single church in there I dialed. And I would say, hi, my name is Kathy Young. My daughter just been diagnosed with leukemia. I need you all to pray for them. I didn't care if it was Catholic. I didn't care if it was what Protestant religion. I didn't care who it was. But I knew that there were some people in those churches somewhere that believed in healing. I knew that there were people that were Bible-believing people that believed in the power of healing that was going to get that message, and my daughter was going to be healed because I knew who my father was. And I called how many churches are in Johnson City, Kingsport, and Bristol. And if they didn't answer, I'd put a mark beside it, and I was going to call back later. And I did not know that she was awake and watched me. She was 5 years old. And do you know that the other day she brought that up? And she was crying. She said, you know what I remember, Mom, about you? And I said, what? She said, you didn't know, but when I was a little girl, I sat there and watched you call every church in that phone book, begging them to pray for your daughter for healing. That, you'd be surprised how many... several prayed with me, but how many of them were very flippant and just, oh, okay, well, thank you, call again and stuff. I learned a lot about churches then and how many don't have compassion and how much we need to have compassion for people that are hurting. I see on here all the time people say, pray for me for this or pray for me for that. And we all send these little pray hands or whatever. But I wonder how many people take the time to stop and pray that are hurting. It may not be a big deal to you. You may see them pray, whatever. Maybe somebody's asked for prayer all the time. You're like, oh, God, they need prayer again. Well, maybe they do. That's your job as a child of God, to have compassion and empathy and sympathy for those who are broken, who are hurt. Because that's who God goes after. That's who Christ goes after. That's who he said he came to heal the brokenhearted. Broken of spirit and mind and body. That's who God goes after. If you don't have compassion, I remember my father there's this one minister that he loved more than any other minister in this world. And he told him, he said, you are the best minister I've ever heard speak. You're the most intelligent, most gifted minister I've ever heard. But you lack one thing. You have no compassion for your people. And that stuck with me. And it's true. You can love, act like you love, you can act like you give, you can do whatever all these things. But if you have no compassion and love for people who are hurting, it's nothing more than, what's God's word say, a sounding gong and a ringing cymbal. You're just a mouthpiece if you don't feel their pain and their hurt. There are so many people that are broken, that are sick, that need your prayer. And you're the only Jesus they ever see. You remember that old saying? Sometimes you're the only God people ever see. What are you showing them? Are you actually taking the time to step? I don't care what their belief system is. I don't care if they're gay, if they're straight, if they're whatever. That's not your place to judge who God put in front of you to pray for. It's not your place to judge. It's not your place to do anything. When we heal people, I never ask them their situation because Jesus never did. He just prayed he met them where their hurt was. He met them where their hurt was, where their pain was. And he prayed for them, like the woman at the well. Remember the woman at the well? She was a Samaritan. It was midday. Let me tell you about that story. I'm going to tell you a story. So, Jesus, first of all, walked into Samaritan territory. The Samaritans were pagans. You were Jewish. You didn't even cross the line and walk into the Samaritan territory, especially midday at the well. Do you know why? Because first, the women in the town went and drew their water from the well. Then the oxen and the cows and the chickens and the ducks got water. Then the harlots got to go get their water. By that time, it was midday. Midday, Jesus walked in Samaritan pagan territory and went to the well where he knew that there was going to be a harlot, a prostitute. And he never judged her. He said to her, "Woman, what are you doing?" She said, "I'm drawing water." He said, "I can give you water where you thirst no more." She said, "Tell me about this water." He said, "Where's your husband?" She said, "I don't have a husband." He goes, "Aha, you're right. In fact, you've had 5 husbands, and the man you're living with isn't your husband now." And she went, "Who are you that you know these things about me?" And he started explaining to her about what true love was, about love of self, and how to heal herself. He never told her, you got to join. Well, you got to join the church. Are you a member of the Jesus Christ Church? Are you? Do you belong here? Because I can't do communion with you if you're not a member of this church. And we've got a great divorce group that you should enter into and get some healing there first. No, he met her at her need where she was broken. And he said, let me love you, let me heal you. And then after he did that, he sent her on his way. And he said, what did he say? Go and sin no more. You know why? Because when people are sinning and when they're doing wrong, they know better. They don't need you to tell them. He knew she knew. She knew he knew. And so she went and told everybody in the town. She was ministering. He took a harlot at 12 o'clock who was a Samaritan pagan that went that day and was evangelizing and saying, let me tell you about the Christ and what he has done. And I forget how many thousands of people came. Remember that? He met people where they are. It is not your job to judge the person in front of you. And what they're saying is, well, I heard so-and-so was having an affair with so-and-so. It ain't your job. Your job is to minister at their hurt. Do they need food? Do they need prayer? Do they need water? What they're doing in their dark sin life is between them and God. Because I promise you got some stuff going on too. Because you ain't perfect. It says we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. All. You see somebody, you think, that's such a godly person. They got some sin. They clicked that porn thing. They did this. They did that. They still got sin, but they're forgiven. That doesn't mean they're living it, walking it. They still have sin. So don't judge. That's what it's talking about. Don't judge lest you be judged, because that's how you'll be judged the day before God. And I don't want to be judged that way. I want to meet people where their sickness is, where their hurt is, where their mind is going. The mind will drive you insane. Which comes first, possession or insanity? It's like which comes first, the chicken or the egg? You meet people where their hurt is and you help them there. It is not your job to judge. Just not. And then after they became healed, what he said, go show yourself to the priest. And she went and evangelized that day. He said, come out. You've got to come see this man. You have to come see this man that has healed me, who knew everything about me. She didn't say he was a psychic or a medium or any of that thing. He knew everything about me, and she meant in a loving way. And he still wanted to be my friend, and he still wanted to love me and care about me. Come, let me show you this man. And these were pagans, and that was to them, like they had to go through ritualistic cleansings just to come back into Jewish land again. So are you meeting people where their hurts are? When you see people say, pray for me, do you send these little hands and then go eat a taco? Are you actually reaching out going, hey, brother, sister, what's going on? If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine, but I'm going to pray wherever your need is. I got needs. God's meeting them. But sometimes, I'm telling you what, especially finding out you've got inoperable cancer, I got a brand new granddaughter, I got an 18-year-old daughter. I'm going to make this. I have to. If not, then y'all got to take up the responsibility and make sure everything's okay after I'm gone. And I love you. And I got so much more I want to say that God's putting on my heart for people. We have to come back to the love that has been taken from us in this last year or two. We have to. I'm not talking about, Trump did it or Biden did it. I'm talking about our hearts. It doesn't matter that one or two of those men acted that way. What did our heart do? Our heart turned against each other. I have friends that I've had for 40 years on here that have blocked me, no longer speak to me because I have had conservative beliefs. Unbelievable. Check your heart. What are you truly doing? Where are you going? Who are you loving? Is it all about yourself? Are you self-sacrificing for others? Where's your compassion? You can be the best minister. You can be the best wife. You can be the best girlfriend. You can be the best of whatever. But if you have no compassion, no empathy, or no sympathy, I'll tell you one more story, then I'll go away. When Mamie was just a baby one time, I had a little tiny Toyota. It was old. I was struggling. And it was 4 doors, and we were driving down the road. And this teenage girl, very wealthy, driving this big truck her parents should have never bought her because it was too big for her, come up over this hill, Mountain View I think it's called, and T-boned me. And we didn't stop. She got scared and dragged me up the thing. Well, I reached around to grab Mamie, and when I did, I snapped my tailbone. It was no fun because she was in a car seat. The girl finally knocked me loose and finally stopped. The cop knew her parents, and she didn't even get ticketed for it, believe it or not. But there I was with my baby in the rain, pouring the rain, and I cannot tell you how many cars passed me with that symbol of Jesus with a fish on it, or their church name on it, and whatever. You know who stopped and helped me? These people with Coexist. They had satanic symbols. They were pierced. They were this, that, and the other, and everything. They stopped after, I don't know how many, I'm telling you, hundreds of cars. They stopped and said, would you like to sit in my car? Can we take you anywhere? What can we do to help you? I learned more that day from those 2 people about what love is and compassion and sympathy than any of those people that kept passing me by with their fish symbol on the back of their car. You meet people where their hurt is. That is love. And I still ask that God have blessings on those 2 people that day. I still, to this day, ask for God to have mercy and blessings on them. I love you guys. Tomorrow is a big day for me. I'm sorry. Tomorrow I find out if the cancer is spread anywhere else. I don't think it has. But it's still a heavy burden to carry. I don't believe it has. I really don't. It just, the flesh reacts to such things, you know. So y'all say a prayer for me tomorrow. I don't even remember what time my appointment is. I'm sure it's on my board. Now I've only knew where they put my board that I'm supposed to look at. But tomorrow's chemo day. I don't get chemo tomorrow, but I'm going to find out tomorrow if the cancer has spread anywhere else. We're going to say no. In fact, we're going to say it's gone because God is love. I love you guys so much. And I appreciate all you've done. Dana, I appreciate you doing the t-shirts to help raise money to help me get through this financial nightmare right now. I told you all I was an ugly crier. I told you all, and you wouldn't listen. I do love you guys, and I do ask for prayer. I do ask for prayer, and I ask for prayer for my children too. This is hard on them, and they are so strong. My God, if it was my mom, I would be hysterical at all times around her. Not my kids. They're dividing up my stuff. No, they're not. They're wonderful. They're taking such good care of me, plus running their families. And you know what? I'm letting them because I can't do it. I just can't right now. And I have a wonderful boyfriend who, if I call him for anything, he is on it. And he takes care of me, and he loves me. And I can't say that I've ever had anybody be that amazing to me. And he's already been down this road. He's a widow. Or a widower, a widow. His wife passed away, so he's this is not easy for him, so pray for him. But my kids, man, I'm telling you, they're keeping me going, and my grandkids. And you all. Believe it or not, this time I spend with you all, I look forward to. I can't ever see hardly the messages because I'm usually teary-eyed or my glasses are jacked up or something. But I do go back and read everything you all say. And when you all send me private messages and stuff, I read those too. And sometimes I don't respond because either my head's hurting or Tessie's yelling at me to go do something else. But I love you guys. I truly do. And I want nothing more to spend eternity in heaven with you. And you remember this. There is nothing you have done that God cannot take care of. There is no, listen, do you know that guilt and shame never come from God? If you're feeling guilt and shame over something, that is not from God. God does not. That's the spirit straight from hell. The spirit of guilt and shame comes from Satan. It is evil. It comes straight from hell. I bet you didn't know that. You know what God puts on us when we mess up? Conviction. Conviction says, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And that's when you go back to him and go, oh, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have done that. And he goes, it's okay. Let's put you back on the right path. Guilt and shame is the one that goes, oh, you know you're never going to be good enough. You can't stay on the straight and narrow. You can't do that. You should be ashamed of yourself. God says, I've forgotten that past. It's gone. So remember, guilt and shame, if you're feeling guilt and shame about something, that's you've got the devil talking to you. He is talking to you. We got to get rid of him. And you got to walk in pure love that says, hey, I messed up, but then once I've asked for forgiveness, it's forgotten, done away with, and I can keep going. That's one of my favorite things, because guilt and shame controlled my life for many, many years. We'll talk about that another night. But I love you. Sweet dreams. Say your prayer before you go to sleep. Add me in your prayers. I'll remember to add you in mine, I hope. If I don't, forgive me, but I try to. I'm going to go hang up some more clothes and look at the ones that are small at top and think next year I'm going to be able to do downward dog instead of downward death when I do yoga. Yoga, not yogurt. I might do yogurt. But I love y'all. Good night. Mwah!